Hey, it's just so Trish, and it's week something of homeschool, and I'm just going to do a catch up, and I'm going to explain to you about, or talk to you about, just the whole situation of finding your limit. Yeah, your limit. Here we go. So I found my limit. So as you know, and I talked about a little bit, and then all my videos just stopped, we moved to a tiny house. It's tiny. It's a tiny house. By definition, it's less than 100 square feet per person. And it's not very big. I do have a front porch, so that's a lifesaver. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's not beautiful. It's not, I mean, I think it could be, but it takes a lot of my brain space to be in a small space like this with all of my family. So just a little bit, without being obvious like we're pigs, but finding ways to store stuff has been an issue. So I still have boxes of clothes to unpack because I finally have a space to have it. But let me show you. You know. And there's a door, and then there's a door, and there's all the clothes. So there's my 3D of my space. So I found my limit. Coffee Trish. I found my limit. It's hard. It's exhausting. I'm mentally drained, emotionally drained. When I complained about the echo at the other house, I don't have an echo here. I got stomp, 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 stomp. It is a mobile home. It's 728 square feet for the 8 of us. Yeah. I've kind of... So we've been doing the minimalist homeschooling, which has been fine. Still doing like a combination between Christian Light Education and ACE for my first grader. And a week or two ago, I got talking to another homeschooler. And we got talking about private schooling. I mean, I've talked about this before, private schooling. And I feel like I'm hardly managing chaos. Does that make sense? So, okay, I hit my limit, and I think these are the factors that make me hit my limit. We're in a small space with 6 kids. Could it still be doable? Sure. I'm in a small space with 6 kids, and half of them are really small. Like the baby, the 2-year-old. The 2-year-old has flooded this house so many times. The 4-year-old has just been like, I do what I want when I want to, which has been a pain. Figuring out the TV has been hard. I've contemplated getting rid of the TV, but the TV does work as a good occupier for my 2 littles, which then keeps them from heading down the road, which sounds awful. But so I moved the TV on the porch because, you know, there's just so many things happening in one space. We have the schoolhouse, and the schoolhouse is great, but when you go out to the schoolhouse, everybody's everywhere, and I just can't. So in the midst of all this, I just looked at my husband and I said, because he's like, we're going to be here 12 months when we sell our other house, which has not sold yet. God must have a big plan for that. So that means I'm going to be in this house till the end of next year. And upon really thinking that and really realizing like I'm just mentally exhausted and doing it all is just not functioning for me, I said, you know, let's look at private schooling. Let's go ahead and let's submit to private schooling. I have them enrolled to start school in August. This might be the last year we homeschool. It's sad. It's sad in a lot of ways. But being the mom I am, I'm sure a lot of you can understand this, I can't just send them to school. What would I do? Well, and the other aspect is, how would I afford that? So, it's kind of hard because we like make too much money to win scholarships to go, but we don't have any money to send them. So I did go, and I was like, hey, I'm looking to put 4 kids in your school, which leaves me with 2 other kids. But I'm like, 4 kids in your school, what could we do? And they're like, oh, we got no space. I'm like, oh, then you must need a teacher. Well, anyways, I landed myself a job. I feel like I'm stringing this video out. I'm so sorry. This is just, you know, it's been crazy. And so you kind of got crazy, dismantled Trish. So next fall, I will be teaching high school at the private school. 4 of my kids will be going there. 1 of mine will be going to voluntary preschool, kindergarten, which is good because then he'll get speech therapy because he needs it. And then the last one is actually going to hang out with my friend. You need to put your straws on the table so you don't lose them. We're using math kits. But the school we're going to, ready, is an ACE school. Because like I said, if I'm going to put them in a school, I'm going to put them in an ACE school. So that's not a big deal. So my kids are excited about going. It is like a big life change thing. The really cool part is I could go work and do engineering if I wanted to. But to be honest, I need to make enough money to send them. And I want to be in sync with them so that I'm with them. So even though like at the school, I won't be in class with them, I'm still in the same building. We keep the same hours. We have the same days off. I'm like, how perfect is that? So those are some big life changes. And can I tell you, trying to manage it all and then coming to that decision, acting on that decision has just been like, I can't even begin to tell you the stress that has just been draining off my body. It's just like done. Just realizing that on the short term, I have to still take care of this in the way that we are, and we need to be ready for next year. But in the long term, me trying to do everything for everybody is going to no longer be my job. You know, the aspect that I think I'm going to be teaching coaching 4 classes of algebra, like two algebra 1s and 2 algebra 2s, or 1 algebra 2, I don't know. Something like that, or in a geometry course. And I'm like, you mean I can hyper focus just on math all day? That sounds so nice. Now, granted, I'm a nerd. I'm a geek here when it comes to math. I got to tutor yesterday so that I could prove my intelligence. And I was like, this is so much fun as we are doing exponential polynomials. I'm like, this is great. And, you know, Pascal's triangle, you know, for, anyway. I loved it. That's like, I loved that. I loved it. And I was just like, this is fun. And so like the idea that I can hyper focus and just, I don't know, it feels relaxing. Because here, I feel like lately, I'm like doing a million different things and I'm doing none of them well enough. And yet, when it comes to the idea of doing less things, but doing them well, is what I think I'm craving, I'm hungry for. And some of the things too, I realize it will free my mental capacity with my children to do the fun things. Let somebody else make sure they're getting their work done. Let somebody else make sure they're, you know, getting everything they need for those 6 hours they need it, or 5 hours they need it. But then for me, I can be like, did you get it done? Are you living up to our family expectations? Let's go see a play. Let's go do extracurricular. And I kind of feel like it's going to help me get to do that. So I think it's healthy to find and understand your limit. Can you hear them outside? You know what I'm talking about. To find your limit. I've had a lot of people that are just like, you're going to do what? You? You're going to go home? You're going to stop homeschooling? Why would you do that? I've had a lot of shock, and I'm just like, I found my limit, In 6, 7, 8 years, I found my limit. Being in a small space is my limit. Where do I go after next year and we get a space? I don't know. I've already contemplated a couple things. I'm very particular about how high school will go. So, okay, number one, am I only going to private school for a year? I don't know. I do not know. I know that we're doing it this year. And I also know that they have a phenomenal kindergarten teacher that teaches phonetics with a Becca, like phenomenally. Phenomenal. And I'm like, ooh, I could stay a second year and Katie would be in 8th grade and I can get Orville into kindergarten, and then that's one less kid I got to teach reading because we're teaching reading. You know how I feel. It is a task. I've done it several times. It's like inner patience building. And the idea is like I can stay a second year and get him to be reading, so that's one less thing I have to do. So, we might be there 1 or 2 years. And then I'm just like, but, if it ends up being something that feels like it serves our purpose and it is good for our family, then we might just stick around and not come back to homeschooling. I don't know. We're just going to play it by ear. Kind of deal. This is a long video. So, I feel like lately I haven't been one to put out videos because I don't want to be a bummer on video. I don't want to be like, and I mean, it's a live show, is different, but I'm talking to myself by myself. And I just don't want to be like, hey, how are you? But yeah, so I'm accepting my limitations. I'm also like, if this is in God's will, I'm just praying okay, God, if this is in your will and it wasn't really what I ever intended to do, let me be excited for what's in your will and not because it's not my will. So, and I feel like he is. I'm getting excited about this journey. I don't know. That's all I've got. I know my kids are going to be fine. I know I'm going to be fine. New routines. I don't know. That's all I got. So, where do I stand on YouTubing? I'm here. I'll be here. I got to get my feet underneath me. I will be at homeschool convention. Because just because I'm not going to homeschool my kid doesn't change the homeschool mom in me. So, I'm going to be there. And I'll probably still be shopping. I shouldn't be, but I will be. But anyway, that's all I got. To coffee lovers. I will talk to you later. Peace out.